Good morning, friends, and welcome to Eicher Presents Moving India with Nayi Soch, a Trans India exclusive. While the road transport industry has changed drastically in the last few years, one of the biggest game changer has been technology. From an era where there was literally zero technology, the industry now boasts of ERPs and other systems that can manage everything within the organization. But while technology is available in abundance, the challenge is in picking the right technology that would suit the organization. At the same time, some companies still see technology as an expense and not as an investment. However, companies that have made the right investment are yielding excellent results, and besides just managing their operations efficiently, they are more relaxed with a better lifestyle. Interestingly, while technology shift has largely been driven by youngsters, the veterans in the business too have realized the need for this change. And one such company that has made significant investments in technology is NAVATA Road Transport. The company has been a leader in the part load segment in South and West India with a network that only a handful of companies can boast of. But despite the massive network of branches and fleet, the company made the right investments, largely driven by the next gen in the organization. Trans India caught up with Vineel Parvataneni to know more about this technology transformation and how it has benefited the organization. Vineel also sheds light on NAVATA Supply Chain Solutions, which offers end-to-end solutions catering to the changing demands of the logistics requirement of companies. Incidentally, Vineel is also the Vice President of Hyderabad Goods Transport Association. Another welcome change, seeing youngsters participate actively in associations. So let's get more insights from Vineel on the importance of technology after this very short break. You are watching Eicher Presents Moving India with Nayi Soch, a Trans India exclusive.
How do you really define new? They say the new takes you beyond possible and makes you do what's unthinkable. Now imagine a world where trucks never have to stop, where no one has to wait when there is an emergency, and happiness always arrives on time. In a hurried world, no one worries about kids getting to school safely. Fathers always come home with a surprise. Mothers sleep peacefully when their son is out on the road 24/7. In a digitally connected world, the real connections are never lost. Friendships are never left behind when work gets tougher. The wheels are kept moving by dedicated professionals. And ultimately, it's not just technology, but people who save the planet. The new thinking not only makes our business grow, but also gives us newer ways to celebrate life. Eicher, Nayi Soch, Naye Raste.
Welcome back to Eicher Presents Moving India with Nayi Soch, a Trans India exclusive. We are in conversation today with Vineel Parvataneni, who is the third generation at NAVATA Road Transport and a strong advocate of technology for the industry. So Vineel, to start with, can you give us a brief background about the NAVATA Transport? It's an age-old company, right?
Yes, Krish. So Navatha Road Transport was started by my grandfather and two of his brothers, and then dad and my uncles have taken over. So when they started, we only had a mechanic shed where the group was all dependent on the mechanic shed. My grandfather was known as Mechanic Bose in Vijayawada's Autonagar, and from there Navatha Road Transport got established in 1982. With the ideology that no one has to go to some other town to get their luggage or parcels or whatever it is, goods. From anywhere interiors, you should be able to get the products to your doorstep, is what the ideology that they started Navatha Road Transport with. And so it started in 1982 and we started a Hyderabad segment in 1983. Dad came to Hyderabad because it was a major city back then. And someone from the family was supposed to be there, and dad has always been very strong in operations marketing.
And what is the Navatha Road Transport network currently?
So right now we are around 680 branches with 500 vehicles, all company owned vehicles across west and south. We are 10 states, and as I said, like our motto was go interiors as much as you can. So that people don't have to go to somewhere else to get their goods. So if you take any of the southern states or western states, southern states we are up to tier 4 villages. We have branches across every 50 kilometers you can hit our branch. And in western parts we are still at tier 3. We are still going even deeper before we add new northern or eastern belt.
But tell me, back in 82, 83 when the company started, or even until the early 2000s, technology was not available to the extent that it is today.
Yes.
So how did you start getting in technology across so many branches?
So the first push was the growth. So what dad and uncles decided was it is very important for the visibility to be there. And what they have seen is that if without technology, the control over what's coming in, what's going out might get impacted, especially in parcel service with so many decentralized branches, decentralized hubs. It will get too chaotic is what they visualized.
Right.
And fortunately, because they visualized, they decided that they are gonna build their own system and set up, and they brought in a consultant from ISRO. One of my uncle was working as a director level in ISRO, and he brought a consultant from ISRO, and they were able to identify what kind of software was needed at that point. With dad and all, they were sitting in ground level. I remember when I was a small kid, I remember day and night they were sitting here only in the godown, in the transshipment, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. Because that took them almost 3-4 years at that point of time to set up the base booking platform. At that point, and we were able to set up the servers and everything also at that point.
Tell me, given the size of the establishment, the investment would have been pretty high.
We started small, Girish, to be honest. At that point, servers and server room and everything, the investments was pretty high at that point for us. At where we are,
but we were equipping each of the branches with at least a basic computer and all, that would have been an expensive affair.
Yes, it is, but we did not completely set up all systems and everything in all branches.
So gradually
it took us quite a while to establish everything into one network. But we identified what were the major aspects, which were the major business centers, and we were able to set up there first, and slowly we were able to spread to the interiors, all other branches as well.
So Vineel, when did you join the organization?
So after my undergrad, I worked with Bharat for an year and a half before its launch. Then I came to Navatha Road Transport. I worked here for 2 years in vehicle maintenance and the ground level operations. Then I went to US, came back, and then completely got involved 100%, I would say.
So after you joining in, what technology changes have happened in Navatha Transport?
My first project was identifying the loopholes. That was what I was put into, and that was what I thought was necessary, even for me to understand exactly ground level stuff, what is going on.
But tell me, were there too many loopholes?
Means, come on, whatever we bring in, automatically we humans find loopholes in it, is what I realized.
Okay.
So we were trying to build in a loophole-less mechanism end to end, from the booking till the delivery, everywhere, including the vehicle movement, vehicle maintenance, job cards, and everything. We were trying to build a perfect system.
Okay.
So that was,
And all this was on a tech platform.
everything was on a tech platform.
So can you explain how the whole thing worked?
680 branches bookings are happening, and we have 18 hubs that are linked to the 680 branches. Everything has to come to those hubs. So we were trying to identify where the data flow might break.
Okay.
What are the possible basically what are the possibilities where people can misuse these systems, is what we were identifying. So from booking, everything comes to transshipment. Vehicle should get started from our transshipment. And what is the invoice for vehicle? We have a separate route system that is defined. From there, we have an invoicing system. Each invoice every vehicle should have an invoice. Every vehicle has a QR code. Every security time should get time stamped whenever the vehicle is entering the security point. Whenever it's getting docked, it should have a timestamp. Whenever the unloading sheet or loading sheet is being generated, we need a timestamp. So this is the kind of process that we were trying to figure out, where the seepage of time or where the efficiencies are not proper. And to bring that, we were trying to bring in all timestamps across. And every step, everything has to be checked in. And we were trying to bring in QR coding at that point, where even barcoding was not a norm in the industry. So, because QR coding was actually cheaper, and we were trying to use Android mobile phones for scanning instead of a proper scanner as a separate device. We created an app. We created a QR code system. For all our vehicles, we have a QR code. We have all our parts are unique ID'd. Every vehicle, whenever comes to all our hubs have minor workshops, and major workshop is in Vijayawada.
Okay.
It's an 80-bay workshop with world-class amenities. So, yeah, we were able to bring that system into the process and everything. So,
but tell me, while you got in tech, a lot of your staff would have been old school. So how did you go through the training process for them?
That was the biggest challenge that we faced, implementation. Because, yeah, as you said, like, most of our managers at that point were people who have started working when the company started. Even today, we have staff who have been working with us for 40 years, 45 years. So what we did was, our generation, in third generation, we are 6 of us.
Okay.
In our generation, we divided and conquered, to be honest.
Okay.
We were one person was trying to do the development part, discuss with the developers and do this. I was trying to understand the ground level operations part and what are the requirements, trying to create those requirements. And then coming into implementation, we were sitting with each and every managers. Okay. Even before developing the program software, the idea was bring in all the key stakeholders.
Right.
Every hub manager, we were bringing them onto the table and showing them practically. We created a pilot program. We're showing them this is what has to be done. This is what we are envisioning. And their inputs were invaluable. Like there are too many practical things even I missed while creating those, which they were able to come and say that, sir, these are the interpass guys, these are 10th pass guys, they won't be able to do this. They won't be able to do this. We should change it this way. Those inputs were invaluable, and without them, the software wouldn't be here where we are at this. Yeah.
But tell me, I don't know if you can give this on record, but what would be the total investment that has gone into tech?
That I need to go back and visit the books here. To be honest, it's been a while. So,
but tell me, has life become much simpler post-tech?
Oh, 100%. So that's what I remember my dad, day in, day out, morning to evening, he's working tirelessly. There were no phones at that point. There were no technology at that point. I used to remember coming back from school, he was not there at night. He comes in. He used to make sure that he spends time with us 1 or 2 hours at least minimum every day. And some middle of the night, the landline, he'll get a call saying that sir, gaadi yahan pe ruk gaye. So he had to run every day. So we were able to see like the drastic hard work change into smart work.
Okay.
And the ease of understanding the business of where the inefficiencies are has increased quite a bit. And without technology, we can't scale yet. At this, like with this day and age, without technology, we couldn't have scaled to this point where we are.
But tell me, Vineel, had technology not been there, would you have still entered this business? Basically, what I'm trying to come to is that would you have gone through the rigorous hard work that your dad and your uncle had to go through? Were you prepared for that?
I was not prepared for that, but I knew that I was going to come back. But that was one of the major reasons why I decided that I wanted to do MBA outside, to understand how different companies or different technologies work, operate outside, so that we can try to implement some aspects to ease the business processes here.
And do you think tech is also a reason why many youngsters are getting into this business now?
Oh yes, definitely. So if it is the same way that when the tech was not there, I would say that would be a huge roadblock for any entrant into the market. And especially I have seen a lot of friends of mine drop out of family businesses, especially in logistics industry, because the technology was not set up or they did not understand what's going on.
Okay.
And that understanding of what's going on in the business is brought in easily from the tech that is being built.
So Vineel, you've actually gone through the journey where you started off with tech and you've brought it to where it is now. Any advice to youngsters who are still struggling to get the right tech for the company? What should be the way?
That's a very good question, because that is where in NAVATA Supply Chain Solutions, what we have observed is that, so even if you go into tech, there are thousands and thousands of different softwares in the market.
Right.
So FTL ka market dekhe to, there are literally thousands of
Absolutely.
funded softwares.
It's confusing actually.
It's very confusing. What works, what doesn't work is a big challenge for everyone. And they don't have time, to be honest. Once they get into logistics business, you don't have time to understand, take so many demos, understand which is right fit, what software works for us, what is the key problem. So my advice will be simple. Like, understand your business operations, understand where there is manual intervention, and try to fill that gap.
Okay.
Instead of trying to jump in and build, just don't go into the fancy advertising of all the tech companies that are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Only take bits and pieces of each of the tech that is required for filling the gap that you have.
We will continue our interaction with Vineel after this very short break. You are watching Eicher Presents Moving India with Nayi Soch, a Trans India exclusive.
कहने को लाइफ में सब कुछ है, फिर भी सपने खेल रहे हैं आंख मिचौली। अमित की लाइफ है कि पिकअप ही नहीं कर रही। दोस्त हैं, महफिलें हैं, पर रिश्तों में वो जिंदा दिली नहीं। अमित की लाइफ है कि पिकअप ही नहीं कर रही। फिर एक दोस्त ने बताई तरकीब, जो थी एकदम सही। पिकअप शिकअप की चिंता छोड़, बना ले लाइफ स्मार्ट अपनी। ले आ स्मार्ट सिटी ट्रक, बदल दे लाइफ अपनी। यह है आयशर प्रो 2049 स्मार्ट सिटी ट्रक।
जब कमाई करेगी पिकअप तभी लाइफ करेगी पिकअप। यही है नई सोच, नए रास्ते। आयशर प्रो 2049 लाइफ बदल दे।
मेरी तो बदल दी।
Welcome back to Eicher Presents Moving India with Nayi Soch, a Trans India exclusive. We are talking today to third generation logistician at NAVATA Road Transport, Vineel Parvataneni. I mean, having come so far, what are your future plans in NAVATA supply chain as well to get in more tech? What do you want to do further?
Quite a bit, guys. So NAVATA Road Transport, the tech is in a way where it's sufficient for another is sustainable for another 15-20 years also.
Okay.
We are able to, the QR coding is there, everything is, system is perfectly set up and it's an autopilot.
Right.
In NAVATA Supply Chain Solutions, what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring a dynamic platform into the world. Basically, so as I said earlier, there are so many fragments. FTL का tech आता है एक, उसमें the tracking will work and the POD aspect might not work for that particular transporter.
Right.
So what we did was we identified bits and pieces of different softwares, and the core, we almost went through demos of 400-500 different companies. We decided to customize different softwares from the market and figured out that the use cases that we have, no other segment has.
Okay.
So we decided we are going to build the base by ourselves and bring in all the segments or verticals of that is required from the market which already are working. For example, if we have a semi-automated AI planner, which is our key for our operations in NAVATA Supply Chain Solutions, which is creating very dynamic operations plan, transportation plan at the end of the day, based on the load that's coming in, based on the vehicles that needs to be placed, based on the vendors that we have already partnered with. It's taking all the variables into consideration and it's giving a semi-automated plan. Right now we are still working on completely automated, but right now it's semi-automated. That is route optimization software is one major aspect that we are building. Another aspect is recently we have integrated AI-based POD reading software. It's an OCR platform. It trains on our PODs, and in parcel service, the biggest challenge is identifying if there are any remarks on any of the PODs.
Right.
Because every day we are booking lakhs and lakhs of airway bills.
Absolutely.
And we used to have a team of 25 people sitting in head office every day, taking all the soft copies of all the documents and going through each and every document, marking yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no in the system, which was a chaotic system, but it is a much necessary system for billing.
Correct.
Has to be done. So what we decided was we partnered with this small startup. We worked as a thinking partner with them. They built it specifically for us. And now if we just take a photo of a POD, it's able to read even handwritten remarks, everything onto a Google Sheet clearly and send it to our system. So that actually helped us reduce the time we understand if there is a remark and go into solution mode way quicker. So such things we are able to integrate different parts into our. So what we are thinking is supply. We have a platform called NSCS One. We are integrating all these bits and pieces into NSCS One, where, as I said earlier, we are trying to empower our partnered vendors as well. Where for them, for 10 rupees, not much charge. For 10 rupees or 20 rupees, we'll be able to give them a GST compliance platform, which will be very useful for a lot of these unorganized players coming into the market, like driver cum owners or young players coming into the market who don't know what compliance is, what e-waybill is, what issues they might arise.
Right.
So with our knowledge in those, we are able to empower them as well with this technology coming in.
Brilliant. And going forward, Vineel, do you see AI becoming more active?
Yes and no, I would say. So we have, I have seen one major aspect is AI has become a buzzword in the market. Rather than AI, I would say it's a combination. AI can help in some aspects, like route optimization. It needs to learn on itself. It doesn't also need to be AI. It can be a machine learning platform. It can be an optimized code that can work, where it can learn on itself.
Right.
To a certain extent.
Okay.
It doesn't, in logistics industry, you cannot eliminate manual intervention 100%.
Absolutely.
At least at this point. Maybe in the future, in 10 odd years, maybe. Yes. But yeah, AI being a buzzword is being thrown here and there very loosely. It can be very useful, and it can also be very dangerous because the cost might come up significantly if you don't use it correctly.
Absolutely. Finally, Vineel, what are your plans for the next 5 years?
So NAVATA Road Transport is catering to completely into the retail market, and we have a logistics ecosystem that we have built in the group. We have NAVATA Road Transport, we have PSC Bus Automobiles, which is doing FTL business. We have Ravi Race, which is partnered with IOCL for petrol bunks in Visakhapatnam. We have tire retailing unit. We have a 80 bay workshop. Now what we are doing is NAVATA Supply Chain Solution is building an end-to-end platform where you are a manufacturer. You take care of your sales, take care of your finished products. We'll handle everything related to your supply chain. Like from your bringing your raw material to your factory, managing your internal logistics, then taking your finished product, managing your inventory, then whenever the stocks are reduced in your stores, replenishing them. End to end, we'll handle it. And that is the goal, where we want the manufacturers to only focus on their core. Because that's not their core and they don't want to get into all these headaches. Why do they have to come into where we are experts? Where there are so many experts like us in the market. Why do they have to come into all this and break their heads?
I mean, I'm glad you say that, logistics service providers are experts as well, because not many people use that term,
No, we are, right? So, one thing I have seen changing in this industry is people are able to work with us as partners. Previously, I remember seeing a lot of boards where transporters, transport wale ko bahar nikalo, bahar bitao re. That respect also changed quite a bit with technology coming in and the dynamics of the transportation industry or logistics industry changing. So
that's a very good point which you've
we have become more of a business partner for them. Absolutely. And we as logistics companies, we have to work on how to increase their profit, our customers' profit, so that in turn automatically our profits will increase and our revenues will increase.
So do you think this industry has a bright future?
Oh, 100%. So how the dynamics of this industry are changing, definitely in the next 5 years I can see a huge shift in how our whole industry is going to change. A lot of unorganized players are understanding tech, coming into organized segment or contracting with organized segment, and the advent of GST that helped to a certain extent. There are teething issues here and there. Those will be there in implementation of such huge projects in such huge country. But yeah, on a holistic level, the norms, infrastructure is changing drastically. The tech is changing drastically, and tech is becoming way cheaper also nowadays.
Correct.
So with all this, yes, I see a very bright future for this industry.
It is very evident that if a transport organization has to grow and become more efficient, the key element or the game changer is going to be technology. Now, with so many options available in the market, it is imperative that a company picks the right one that suits the nature of the business as well as operations. Thankfully, there are various options to choose from, including customizing technology or building one of your own. But one thing that the transporters should realize is that technology is not an expense, but an investment that will yield results beyond more than just financial results. You have been watching Eicher Presents Moving India with Nayi Soch, a Trans India exclusive. We will be back again next week with yet another very interesting and insightful interaction. Until next week, stay safe and drive safe. Jai Hind.